I have a question for you. Did you know that vision is the single greatest tool that can liberate anyone from any form of addiction? Did you know that a vision can be so powerful that it becomes a compelling force that liberates you from the grips of addiction? Well, in today's podcast, I'm going to be talking to you about the power of a vision and how a vision can enable you to leave any form of addiction. If you have been struggling with addictions in your life that are keeping you down and destroying your self-image, and you're tired of it, I want to give you a reason. I want to give you a tool that can empower you to be able to get rid of any form of addiction. Proverbs 29:18 says, the A part, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish, meaning the cast of restraints. This means that when we don't have vision for our life, we lack direction and we lack self-discipline. So what is vision? I'm glad you asked. I have some definition here for you. Vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with your imagination and wisdom. It is also the ability to see beyond your natural eyesight. Thus, vision is a function of the heart and the mind. Vision is the ability to take from the unseen and reproduce it in the seen. And vision brings to the now what is in the unseen realm of the mind. That means that when a person has a vision, that vision becomes a powerful force for them to surmount any form of temptation, any form of addiction, and any form of obstacles in their life. When a person has a vision for their life, which simply means that that person has a clear picture of where they are going in life and the kind of person they want to be. Again, when you have a vision for your life, it simply means that you have a clear picture of where you are going in life, and you also have a clear picture of the kind of person you want to become. Therefore, my friend, vision could and can be the propelling force to take you out of the deep waters of addiction that you are now struggling with into the realm of a life of purpose and victory. But let's face it, breaking away from addiction is not as easy as it seems, right? You and I know that once those habits have been established, it's not so easy to break away from them. There's a great story of a teacher and his student. This teacher was trying to teach the student a lesson on the power of a habit. So he took the student in a field and basically told the student, in that field there were trees of different sizes, from the smallest to the biggest oak tree. And the teacher told the student, who was a boy, he pointed at a very smaller tree and said to him, hey, uproot that tree. And the little boy, with excitement in his face and all the energy that he has, went out there and pulled that tree with little to no effort. And then the teacher pointed to another tree. a much bigger tree than the smaller one, and told the boy, go and uproot that other tree. And the boy went with a little bit of resistance and he pulled the tree out. And then the teacher did this consecutively for up to the fourth, up to the fifth tree. And when he reached the fifth tree, every time at each step of the way, the teacher increased the size of the tree that the boy had to uproot. And by the time they reached to the fifth tree, which was an oak tree, very tall and huge, he told the boy, he said, go and uproot that tree. And the boy went with all of his might, as a child with that determination, and tried to uproot that tree and tried to uproot the tree. And he tried and he hold it and hold it. And with all the efforts that he had, he looked at his master and said, oh, master, for I cannot uproot this tree. It is too deep. It has a lot of roots and it's too big for me. I may need something else to help me uproot this tree. What is the moral of the story? Time and repetition determines how hard a habit is going to be to break away from. See, you and I know, and maybe you don't know this, but the bad habit in the moment may be small, but over time, when it has compounded, it becomes a stronghold that you and I may not be able to break away from. So the little boy trying to uproot that tree, that might be you. And that oak tree, maybe the addiction you're struggling with, maybe it's pornography, maybe it's drugs and alcohol, maybe it's lust, or whatever it is that is keeping you from achieving the purpose and destiny that you were designed to do. That oak tree, a vision can enable you to remove that. See, all of the addictions could have been avoided if you had a vision for your life. Remember, a vision is a clear picture of where we want to go and the kind of person that we want to become. So why? Why do we need this vision? Well, let's go back to Proverbs 29:18. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. They cast off restraints. So in other words, vision is the catalyst and the propeller of self-discipline. And without a vision, when we lack a vision, we lack a disciplined life. Why? Because when we don't have a vision, which is something that we hold in our mind, a clear picture of who we want to be and where we want to go, since there is nothing worth fighting for, we tend to cast off restraints and live our life however we please, destroying the body and the gifts that God has given to us. So vision is that propeller, that compelling force that enables you to break away from any form of addiction. The second reason why is that vision helps you run your race well and keeps you on the path of purpose and destiny. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain on the tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is for an appointed time. So when you have a vision, you can endure any form of temptations. You can endure any form of hardship. You can endure any form of disappointments and obstacles. I'm going to share with you two stories of two different people that both had a vision, but one of them yielded to their addictions and the other didn't. In Genesis chapter 37, verse 5, we look at the story of Joseph. Joseph, it says here, now Joseph had a dream. That dream became a vision that Joseph held in his mind. He had a clear picture of who he was going to be and where he was going. And because of that clear picture, he decided to yield to the God that gave him that vision and decided to follow the commandments. And when he had a vision of a clear picture in his mind, he focused on that vision. He was able to endure the hatred from his brothers. He was able to endure the pain he had to go through. He was able to endure slavery, even in the face of temptation when he could have yielded to the lust of the flesh. Because of the vision that he had in his mind, he was able to endure and escape the temptation, even though he ended up in prison. But yet at the end of the day, as Habakkuk says, for the vision is for an appointed time, and that time came. And because he was faithful to the vision and persevered, he became, in one day, the governor, the prime minister of an entire nation, and was able to preserve the lineage of his family. See, that's the power of a vision. When you have a vision in your mind, when you hold on to it, it can bring you out of the most desperate places, from the slums, from the trash places, to the place of power and authority where you're walking in your assignment and you are aligned with the person that gave you that assignment, which is God. But let's look at another man. In Judges chapter 13, 14, all the way to 16, we see a man named Samson. See, Samson was born from the womb. He was chosen by God to be a deliverer of his people. That was the vision that God gave his parents, that he will be the deliverer of his people. Samson started so well. He had a vision in his mind and God began to use him. But all of a sudden, through pride and arrogance, he lost sight of the goal. By yielding to his desires and the flesh, he lost sight of the vision that God has given him. And even though he started well, his end wasn't what God designed for him, because he lost sight of the vision. My friend, a vision is so powerful that when you decide to focus on it, everything else, like Joseph in your life, becomes meaningless. Because vision is birthed out of purpose. Samson forgot his vision. He forgot where God was taking him. He lost sight of that vision and he started focusing on women, on the pleasures of the flesh, the lust of the eyes. And at the end of the day, even though he obtained mercy, but yet he died and could not finish what he started, what God started through him. See, if you and I decide to yield to addiction, we may end up like Samson. I remember when I used to struggle with addictions. But the Lord made me understand that I didn't have an addiction problem. I had a vision problem. Because my mind and my eye could not see past my flesh. But when the Lord delivered me and made me understand that there is a propelling force that can take me from the realm of addiction into the realm of victory, then I understood that vision was what I needed. And life, once I got that vision for my life, things started to break away. Because vision requires growth. Vision requires certain things. And when you start to do those things, see, there is a realm that growth in you, automatically, some things has to go away. There's a certain level of growth. When you arrive there, there are some things in your life that has to go because you have grown past them. That is what a vision can do for you. So maybe you don't have a porn problem. Maybe you don't have a money problem. Maybe you don't have a drug problem. Your biggest problem is lack of vision. And you see, the goal is not just to break away from addictions. The goal is to go beyond the process of recovery into the realm of purpose and destiny, where you can live a fulfilling life and be able to impact the lives of others. Again, maybe your problem is not an addiction problem. Just like me, maybe your problem is lack of vision. That, my friend, is the power of a vision. And you also are entitled to one. God has something for your life, a vision that only you supposed to pursue. But will you finish well, like Joseph? Or will you stop short, like Samson? In the next podcast, I'm going to share with you how you can cultivate and develop your purpose and your vision. Until then, stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe and share this video with someone if you believe you've been blessed. I've enjoyed sharing with you. Have a great day.